Okay. And I want y'all to turn on your cameras so that I know that y'all are alive. Please. I don't have a camera. Come on, Binara. Now we know. Aditya, Oshini, please. I can't be speaking to myself. Thank you. Oshini?
Please, I can't turn camera. I'm not at home.
Where are you?
I'm outside, not at home. But I can hear
Okay,
you.
then
I can talk.
19th you have to. Binara? Now you know? Come on, it's only fair that you all turn on as well, okay? Nathanika, I feel like I'm doing some radio podcasting, like I talk to myself, I can only see my reflection. That's creepy. I don't like it. Okay, now at least I can see one human being, so yeah, that's better. Okay, fine. Let's begin with big match. Take big match. Okay. First, tell me, what do you know about the poem? What do you know?
It's about some Friday something.
What?
It's about something. I don't know. I wasn't there for this day. Friday something name. What correct?
Mona something? What? Repeat again, sorry.
Something like Friday mark correct?
Something like Friday? Like, iskole karada, have you done this already? Like, have you read this before?
Yes, miss.
Yeah, with Miss
Yeah, okay.
Susan.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Oshini?
Like it's something happened. It's a conflict happened in Sri Lanka in 1983.
Yes, okay, you're halfway there. Binara, what do you
Ah,
know?
it's
Yeah, Aditya.
something like Black July something, right?
Yes, Black July. Yes, okay. Black July Friday kai pat lagata ne Friday. Okay, fine. Black July, okay. Binara? Yes. Are you speaking? Or am I hallucinating? I can't hear anything. Now you know? What do you know? Nothing?
Hello, miss. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, tell me.
Like, it was a conflict, uh, like a lot of killing happened, and it was like a rampage done by like a government party.
Government party. Okay, that's a question mark there. Okay, first of all, huge Brahma, I have to tell you, in case if you are selecting this poem for your essays, please be mindful about the concepts that I'm saying right now. Sorry, the concern that I'm saying right now. Number one is your papers are not marked in Colombo, right? So the examiners who are going to mark your paper, you don't know who they are and they don't know who you are. So there's nothing personal, right? So when you all don't know each other, for them you are just an admission number, examination number. You're not you're like, means they don't know you, your name, your school, nothing's mentioned. Please be mindful when you are writing answers for a poem like Big Match. Do not accuse anyone directly. Don't say the LTT make a kiai don't be very direct. Try to be a little lenient when you're answering such a question. We call it the sandwich method. Do you know what sandwich method means? No. Okay. Binara is like giving all the reactions. Since I can't see his face, he's giving me the. Okay, never mind. Yeah, either way, you're responding, so I know you're alive. Thank you. So this is what it is. When you're writing answers, especially if it's somewhat like an argument or criticism, you need to sandwich it. The reason I say we also call it the hamburger method. We also call it sandwich, but it's the same thing. Now, if you take a sandwich, it's just two pieces of bread, and in the middle you have something. It can be cheese, it can be something. So the taste is in the middle. You sandwich it with two pieces of bread, and that consists of no taste, in the sense like it's not the tasty part. Taste එකක් තියෙනවා, but it's not the tasty part. Same way, like when we started teaching, what we were advised was also when we speak to students, sandwich it. In the sense, when we give your feedback. That's something I try to practice as much as I can. Like without directly saying, okay, ඔයානම් මහා ගොනෙක් කොච්චර කරත් වැඩක් නැහැ, you're done, you can't do it, you're going to fail this exam, I'm fed up with you, no, you can't do it. What's the impact that's created? You're going to be like, okay, ma'am, කොච්චර කරත් වැඩක් නැහැ. That is not sandwiching. That is being critical very, very directly. Sandwiching, it means I'll be like, okay, you have improved on your handwriting. Your handwriting is a little better this time, and but what you've written is not really relevant to the question. Why don't we try to read the question a little bit more next time and try again? Now, what do you feel when with the second comment? You actually feel like working on it, right? That is called sandwiching. I add a little bit of appreciation or a neutral comment along with the criticism. That's the same thing you need to do when you are writing literature answers, especially with concerns which are very sensitive, like the poem The Big Match. Sorry, Big Match 1983. What else do you all know? So, okay, the setting is Sri Lanka. This is during the war period. It's based on Black July. What else do you know? What do you think of the title? The Big Match. Sorry, Big Match 1983. Keep the 1983 aside. Just take the part Big Match. Big Match kina title එක හැද්දි what comes to your head? What
Those
comes to
big
your
matches happen.
Sorry, Oshini, what?
The big matches that happens between the school, those things.
Yes, the cricket big match. Okay. Thank you, Binara. Hi. Aditya? What do you get from the title?
Here, miss. I have no clue.
No idea? When you hear
No
the
idea
word,
about this.
when you hear the two words big match, when you hear this phrase, what comes to your head? A very simple question. Dohan is also here. Kids, there's a new student, a friend for all. We have Dohan in the class. Dohan? Can you hear us? Yeah.
Yes.
Hi. Yeah. If you don't mind, will you be able to turn on your camera as well? Binara looks like a gamer. I feel like I'm watching some, I don't know, some gaming something. Never mind. Okay. Hi, Navinu. You have had a haircut. Very nice. You look like, you look, I don't know how to explain it. You look younger than you did before.
Thank you.
You look like a child. Finally. Okay. Just kidding. You look nice. I was just joking. So the title Big Match, it actually, the title is given in a very, what do you call, it has a nuance meaning. What's a nuance? There are two meanings to it. Okay. So you know that it's also about the big match. This happens during the big match period. So it's very, the way he has taken it is very subtle. Right? So when you look at the title, Big Match, the two words Big Match, actually to say this is based on, in the sense, like when you read the poem, you can see there are two parallels. The real big match is taking place while the other big match is happening as well. Before we get into the other big match, you all already know about the cricket big match, right? Like in famous leading government schools and all, they have big matches, and you all have your inter-school cricket tournaments as well, right? So same way they have it, and it's a very known thing. And that big match season is like fire. It's just finished few weeks ago, right? Yeah, that's like a big thing. So 1983 is the part which adds the punch. Now, what happened? Okay, when did Sri Lanka get independence? What was the year Sri Lanka got independence?
1948.
48. Then what happened in 1956? 1948, Sri Lanka got independence. 1956, what happened? Sinhala Only Act by JR, as I remember. Am I right? If I'm wrong, please correct me. This is, if my memory serves me right, it was JR. So in 83, this is actually the Black July movement. Let's talk about a little bit of history. Okay, this is history plus my analysis together. Now I'm going to give you the background, the context of the poem before we get into the poem. First, what happened was in 1983, we got independence. Sorry, 1948, we got independence. So when we got independence, now you already know about the novel The Vendor of Sweets as well. I gave you a little bit of intro about it. There are also, when we were talking about that, I think we spoke about this as well. Still, it's okay. I will discuss about it again. Now, when you look at Sri Lanka, we were captured by 3 countries. What were those? Tell me first. We were colonized. By whom?
Portuguese, Dutch, and British.
Okay. So the final one was the British. Now, y'all are in grade 11, so y'all know the grade 10 history. In grade 10, only you had Sri Lankan history, so you already know how it happened and all of that. So I'm not going to waste my time explaining history to you. So, but you know that the Portuguese and the Dutch, they were able to capture only the coastal areas of Sri Lanka. The country that actually captured the whole country was the British. We became a full colony of the British Empire. As a result, that is how British English got established in Sri Lanka. And during this period, as soon as we got independence, because we wanted to feel liberated, what did we do? The sense of nationalism was at its peak. So the politicians who came into power, what did they do? They made an act called the Sinhala Only Act. The state language made Sinhala the state language. Now, currently, there are 3 state languages in Sri Lanka at present. All 3, Sinhala, English, and Tamil, all these 3 are state languages without any issue. So even if you look at notes and coins, you have it in all the 3 languages. If you look at any government forms, any legal document, you have it in all 3 languages. Why? Because those are the state languages of Sri Lanka. But back in the day, they came up with an act making Sinhala the only language. What they wanted was to take away the English part from the country, but they didn't just take the English part by making by making Sinhala the main one. They also removed Tamil. That was not fair, because maybe the Tamil community come into our community from India, from whatever the country, doesn't matter. In the end of the day, they are now born and bred here. The ancestry, the roots doesn't matter. Their great grandparents, everyone was here. They are here now. That's what matters, right? They were born here, they were bred here. This is their country, this is their motherland as well. But just making Sinhala the only language, what happened was it gave the Sinhalese a little bit of a punch. Now, recently my mom was watching this movie on TV called Rani. Okay, that is based on Richard de Souza's mother. If you ever do A-level literature, which I know, for now, I feel like Aditya might do it. I don't know. But because he wants to bio, no. But I feel like he might be interested. Binara, shape, but he wants to be a nurse, once again, out. So, yeah. Others still I haven't seen that. I mean, it's not comparison. I'm just saying, okay. I felt like you might get inspired to do literature. Others I'm still observing, and you do whatever you want. You do you, but I'm just saying. In A-level literature, there's a poem called Animal Crackers by Richard de Souza. That's once again another version of Big Match. There, he talks about, now, there also the title is Animal Crackers. It's not really about animal crackers. It's not about the Bratinya and all of that. It's actually about the Sri Lankans. He says, draw me a lion. The lion refers to the Sinhalese. The tigers refers to the Tamils. The jackals represents the politicians. The elephant, the UNP. Like that. That's how that poem went. He was actually shot. He was killed. That poet was killed during that period, during this Black July thing. Right? So, same way, Yasmin Gunaratna, takes the poem The Big Match to talk about the same situation. So this happens during the period of the big match while the war is going on. Both of these things are happening parallelly. And if you look at Sri Lanka, now in the end of the poem, it says Sri Lanka burns alive. So basically, Sri Lanka is a whole racial pot. So all these races are together. Getting back to the history part that I was discussing previously, now what happened? Sinhala was made the only act. Then our stupid people, I'm a Sinhalese myself, but have to say this, we have a little bit of a false pride, a boosted egoistic pride. Most of the Sri Lankans have that, Sinhalese. Singhale, Apitama, we are the greatest nation, we are the greatest race of all times. That mentality is stupid. We are humans after all, right? We are all the same. I don't see a difference. If you're Muslim, if you're Sinhalese, whatever it is, at the end of the day, we're all the same. Some people have those racist comments, what nonsense? That's mere nonsense. That is racism, right? That is racism. You already know that. So here also, it's about all of that. The person who is educated here is not a Sinhalese person, it's a Tamil person. So there are ironic factors there that which we are going to discuss. But before we get into the poem, I'm trying to make you understand the background. Then it's easier for you to analyze. So once the Sinhala only act came, the Sinhalese started getting this pride and ego and all of that, and they started suppressing the Tamils. And the Tamils also felt more suppressed because they cannot converse, in the sense they cannot work. Now the people in Jaffna, back in the day, most of them were like 99% of them were Tamils. They do not know Sinhala, they don't need Sinhala. Now, I don't know Tamil personally. I know a little bit, but I don't know much. I do not know much. I can understand if someone's scolding me because my first school was a Muslim school, the majority were Muslims. So I picked a few phrases here and there. So I know in the beginning they've been scolding me, looking down and smiling at my face. I did not understand, but now I do. In the last day, I gave them some nice Tamil phrases and came back. Right? So like can any of y'all speak in Tamil fluently? Like fluent Tamil? No, right? Why? Because in the area that now my dad can speak fluent Tamil. He's a Sinhalese. Like my first school was Dover, so my Tamil teacher heard him once and asked whether my dad was Tamil. His Tamil is that good. But he cannot read and write, he can speak. So he can speak all three languages. He can speak Sinhala, Tamil and English. Why? Because in the area that he was, that's the Vallavatta side, there are so many Tamils, there are so many Muslims. So along with the community, he was brought up, he got adjusted to the language. While because we were not that exposed, we are not that fluent, right? So if you look at I don't know whether your grandparents, if you have grandparents who are maybe like 80, 90 years old, most of them are fluent in all three languages. My dad's mom, she knew English, Tamil and Sinhala. Why? Because now you all already know history. There was something called how religions were imposed by the British and all of that, right? That you were supposed, if you want to get a government job, you should know English, and to know English, you should get into an English school. To get into an English school, you need to be converted to their religion. That was the way, right? That was how that's history, right? You already know that. So because of that, back in the day, they knew all three languages. But during my mother's and father's era, this was the time where the Sinhala only act was there. So they went to Sinhala schools. They studied only Sinhala. My parents learned English later on. My dad knew Tamil because he was in a Tamil kind of area. Apart from that, they are only fluent in Sinhala. Is it their fault? No. This was the era where Sinhala was the state language. That was the time they went to school. And can you understand what I'm saying? Is that clear? Yeah, okay. Then what happened was this converted into a conflict. This became a social conflict, the disparity. Now, imagine I'm a Tamil person, I do not know Sinhala at all, and I have to get something done, maybe a court case or something. All the forms are in Sinhala. How am I supposed to fill it? Prashnayak me. So, and then our stupid people the majority, the Sinhala majority, most of them, not all, we can't say most also, some of them, some of the idiots started saying, this is not your country, this is our country, go back to your country, all that nonsense. This is what actually sparked the conflict. So we cannot blame any party. This was the start of the conflict. This poem is about that. Now, can you understand the background, like as to what this is about? Yes or no? Any questions before we begin the poem? No. Oshini, I can't see you, so can you respond? Clear.
Clear.
Dohan?
Okay, miss.
Okay, right. Then let's get into the poem. I told about the racial violence, Black July riot was there. Okay. About the structure. Can you see something like a sonnet, like with a quatrain structure, or what is it? What do you all know? What do you all feel the structure is, like when you go through the poem? What kind of a structure
poem
is
is
there?
too big.
No. Sorry, what? What did you say?
The poem is too long.
Okay.
The poem is too long.
I know, it's long, yeah. This is the longest poem you'll have. I'm not asking you to go through the whole poem. You don't have to go through the whole poem to figure that out. A sonnet is just 14 lines, and it's definitely not a sonnet because it has more than 14 lines. Sonnet thing is out. What is it? Does it have like a quatrain structure, some sort of like a couplet or quatrain or some sort of an octave or මොකක් හරි එකක් තියෙනවද එහෙම? පේනවද එහෙම මොකක් හරි එකක්? That's what I'm asking you. No, right? This is what we call free verse. Free verse. There is no proper structure. Free verse. It's a free verse poem. It has 7 stanzas and an irregular rhyme scheme. It doesn't have a proper rhyme pattern. Okay, let's get into the poem. Aditya, read the first stanza. Read the first stanza.
Glimpsing the head. Should I start with the topic, miss, or just start?
No, need the topic.
Glimpsing the headlines in the newspapers. Tourists scuttle for cover, cancel their options on rooms with views of temple and holy mountain. Flashpoint in paradise. Racial pot boils over. And even the gone-away boy, who had hoped to find lost roots, lost lovers, lost talent even, out among the palms, makes timely return giving thanks that Toronto is quite romantic enough for his purposes.
Okay, right. So glimpsing. So it's like at a glance when you see now, when you look at newspapers and all, the main thing what they want to highlight is what they put. Most of the time it's utter nonsense. ඇත්තත් නෙමෙයි, මේ මොන හරි එකක් දාලා කවුද මෙන්න මෙයාව මැරුවේ කවුද අන්න ආරයා උස්සලා අන්න මෙන්න මෙහෙම එකක් කරලා පොලිසිය රිමාන්ඩ් ඔන්න ඔය වගේනේ headline දාන්නේ. I'm giving an example. Aditya, where are you from? Where are you from? Mattagoda, right?
No, Kotta.
කොට්ටාවද හරි sorry කොට්ටාවේ අදිත මොනවාද ලක්ෂ 2ක් සමග බෝට්ටුවෙන් ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාවට යන්න ගිහින් අසුවිය අන්න මොකක් කරන්න හෙඩ්ලයින් බෝට්ටුවෙන් ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාවට ගිය කොල්ලාට කුමක් වෙයිද question mark අන්න ඔය වගේ මොකක් හරි එකක් තමයි headlines වටෙන්නේ. So at a glance you're like, oh, that's interesting, you will take it. So what does media do? This whole stanza is about the contribution of the media. Contribution is not a positive contribution. How they make sensitive topics into sensations for their use, for their benefits. Now, when you put such titles on the newspaper headline, these go on global news as well, like BBC and all that. So the tourists who are there abroad, as well as our own Sri Lankans who are abroad, they look at these newspapers to have an idea of the situation of Sri Lanka. When they see such headlines, will they feel like coming to the country? No. But does it serve the purpose of the media? Yes. Their newspapers are sold. Their purpose is so. What they do is they take now. Sometimes they take very, very sensitive topics. Maybe like someone has died. Maybe someone was kidnapped, murdered, something. Or maybe someone's name was tarnished doing something. Sometimes later on it's proven that it was not true. Now, okay, keep newspapers aside. Nowadays, what's trending is social media, right? So this is an old poem. So if you take TikTok, now now there's this now AI thing is trending, right? So just take someone's video was created, maybe a famous actress or some leading person, and it was distributed. TikTok එකේ. එක්කෙනයි දාන්න ඕනේ. Do we even verify it? No. දාගෙන යනවා. ඔක share and පස්සේ ඒලා සමහරලාට ඔක මේ ඇත්ත වෙනකොට that person might have already committed suicide also. When the reality comes that it was actually AI, then that wasn't a real video. That person is dead. Long dead. But the people who created that, they got the likes, they got the views, they got followers. That's what they wanted. Same thing as the media. So this whole stanza, now if you're going to break in, the reason I'm giving all like topics into every paragraph is because if you're going to write an essay basing on this poem, I have always told you all the method. What is the method? PEE. You have to give a point. So the point, you can take that as the title. Title in the sense, not the poem's title. What I mean by the title is the topic sentence. You can give a point. The contribution of the media. Oh, how media over exaggerates. Or how media creates sensitive topics into sensations. Things like that. You can give subtopics, or you can note them down somewhere so that when you're writing, you can elongate that and write properly. Okay. So what happens? Gives in the headlines in the newspaper, tourists settle for cover, cancel their options on rooms of the view of temples and holy mountains. Temples and holy mountains, these are all peaceful locations. They are not violent places. They're supposed to be peaceful. They're supposed to be beautiful. These are places where people are supposed to come and do their sacred venerations, or like people come on pilgrimages to Sri Lanka to visit Dalada Maligava, to go to Sri Mahabodhi and all of that, Atamasthana and all those places, right? But all those bookings were cancelled. Why? People get scared, obviously. Highlight these two phrases. Flashpoint in the paradise, racial pot boils over. Highlight those two, please. Flashpoint in the paradise, racial pot boils over. What's paradise? The literal meaning of the word paradise is heaven. So what is this heaven referring to? Sri Lanka. The country that was considered a paradise, there's a flashpoint. See how they have articulated the words nice. They have mixed the words the way they want to. I met a tourist when I was in the Maldives with my family. This was back in 2020, and she has visited so many countries. She's in a quest to go to countries as much as she can. She's kind of old, recently widowed and all of that. So then we asked her, are you hoping to go to the same country again? She was like, no, not really. I want to visit all the countries. And then I questioned, in case, if imagine you finish going to all the countries and you get the chance to return to go visit a country that you already visited again, what would that be? And her answer was Sri Lanka. She literally said, for tourists, yes. She said that she would definitely visit Sri Lanka. She called it a paradise island, which we feel like is a junk hole. People look at it as a paradise. But us Sri Lankans, we think this is a piece of junk. We don't see the value of what we have, kind of a scenario. right? So here, racial pot boils over. Now, Sri Lanka is a multiracial country. We have a lot of races here. And if you consider the whole country as one pot, all these races are living together. If you fire, if now the big match is referring to like the big matchstick, it's a matchstick, gini kurak. Pattu karanawa by lighting the pot, a pot with all the races in it. The pot is different to the country, and all the people, all the Sri Lankan citizens are inside the country. Irrespective of what your race is, you are affected. You are also affected. Then bus එකක් bomb එකක් තියෙන පුපුර ගන්නකොට මේ all the Sinhalese people get down, එහෙම නැත්නම් all the Muslims get down, all the Tamil people get down කියන්නේ නැහැ, they bomb it. Everyone's affected. Right? Now the East attack, that's the most recent thing in 2019. There was a incident in Kochikade when they blasted it. There was a Muslim girl in it. එහෙනම් එයාවත් බේරන්න එපා. එහෙම නෑ, okay, they don't look at the micro scale. They're like, okay, we want to kill, we kill. That's what happened. Right? So in some one way or another, everyone's affected. That's what they're trying to say. The racial poverty is boiling over now. Okkomalla indare, we are all burning inside the country. Right? And even the gone away boy, a gone away boy is an expatriate, a person who has left the country, in the sense like someone who has like migrated, kind of expatriate. He's a person who is living out of the native country, is an expatriate. If you want the spellings, it's EXPATRIATE, expatriate. It's a person who is living outside the native country, who had hoped to find his lost origins, lost lovers, lost talents, and even among the palms. Makes time to return, giving thanks that Toronto is quite romantic enough for his purpose. Okay. You all know about, okay, have I watched Never Have I Ever? This is not my proposition for you all to go watch it. I'm just asking, have you watched it already? Never Have I Ever? No. Do you all know about Devi Ramakrishnan in that? Paxton, Devi, Ben? No. No, okay. Do you know this girl called, okay, Vinara's face lit up after I said Devi. So, yeah. Okay. You know about Maitri, right? Her name's Maitri. Yeah. She's a star. She's a Netflix star. Do you know that her roots are from Sri Lanka? Did you know that? Yes. So actually to say, we have one way or another, a person who has Sri Lankan roots in Netflix. But she never admits it. Why? Because she is someone who was a gone away person herself. What happened was, according to my research, when her mom was expecting her, they fled the country to Canada. So she was born and raised in Canada. So she calls herself a Canadian. That is fair. She was born and bred there, true. But her identity, she's a brown-skinned girl. So people assume she's Indian because she speaks Tamil as well. But actually, she's a Sri Lankan Tamil. Her parents are Sri Lankan Tamils. They're not Indians. So she is a solid example for this. A person who lost her roots. So since she had to flee the country, her parents had to flee the country to ensure that their child grows up in a safe space, they have to give up on their origins, the place where they belong, their country. No place feels like home, right? Leave your relations, your house, all the things behind and go and start fresh in a total different country. That's what happened to Maitri as well. So Maitri has no connections with Sri Lanka. She never acknowledges the fact that she has roots here. She doesn't. She hates the country to the core. Aparadini. There are two things. If she was actually here, that wouldn't happen as well. I mean, she wouldn't become a Netflix star if she was here. That is one. And the other thing was actually she acknowledged the fact that she has roots here. It would have been a huge boost to our actors and actresses of a film industry. Like for an example, now Yohani, although I mean, she's performing a lot of Indian shows, and she's singing in most of these new movies and stuff, right? In Indian stuff. But she balances both. That's the thing. So these are the effects. Not just her. Many other talented people, many other individuals, they fled the country from different industries. Doctors, engineers, many people fled the country for their own safety. We can't blame them, because in the end of the day, they want to ensure their safety and their children's and their loved ones' safety, right? So they fled the country. Okay, so that's what it is. The lost. So the repetition of the word lost. What does repetition create? I've already told this multiple times. What does repetition create? What's the effect of repetition? When we did the poem Farewell to Barn and Stack Country, also I told this. What is the effect of repetition? Please tell me.
It emphasizes.
Emphasize. Yes. Repetition not only adds rhythm to the poem, but also emphasizes. It highlights. So lost. Natuna. It emphasizes the effect, right? Okay. So this gives the longing and the disconnected feeling, or ayyo akkoma nathi unane wage feeling is given. Then Toronto. Where's Toronto? Canada. Yes. So when I was doing O levels, the sensation was, until then it was Canada. For studies, for young people, it was Canada. And then after I did my A levels, then it turned into Aussie. So now still people go to Canada, then it's Aussie, then Aussie, then go to try Finland and Switzerland and stuff. Now most of them are trying to go to Finland. I mean, students. Back in the day, Canada was the thing. So little by little, because then Canada gila, now it's more like Sri Lanka, even Australia. The second largest Sinhalese populations there in Melbourne. I have my friend living there. She's sometimes like, I don't feel a difference. She actually says like, like in the hostel, and since she has taken an apartment, and all of them are Sinhalese, and they had Aurudu. Tomorrow I'm having an Aurudu, but I mean Aurudu it's a thing. But she had bigger occasions there, like for Aurudu. They celebrate it like not. They have all the functions. So it's more like, she's like, I don't have a difference. It's whether it's here or there. It's a little cleaner also there, a little bit luxurious in comparison, but still it's the same thing. So next thing is, what is happening on Binara's screen? Binara, what are you doing? Oh, that's your hand. I saw like it was your face. It's like, what are you doing? Okay, fine. I thought he slipped or something. Okay. Fix your gaming console and let us know. Then so he's like, okay, romantic enough, in the sense here romantic is not love romance, okay? Now there's something called romantic era also in literature. Now before I stepped into literature initially, as a student, when I was like your age, when I heard the word romantic also, I thought it was love. It was like romance, like love, girl, boy, that nowadays it's everything. It can be a rock and a tree. 2026, God knows. Because I see fruits having affairs on the phone. There are fruits that are dating, like the strawberry nothing is, she's a, I don't know the WH word. She's dating everybody.
I think, right, miss?
Yeah, and Bananito, he's the other guy. That's what I watch at 3 a.m. in the morning, as if I have nothing else to do on earth. And it's, I don't know why when I start looking, I just check the whole series. I just look it up. And the Love Island, the fruit version. Sorry? It's very addictive.
Miss like watching fruits get together. Yeah.
Ayyo, no, not like. There are toothbrush. There was one with a toothbrush and a, I don't know, something. So love wins. Love is love. Sometimes I feel like when I hold it, like, is it a person kind of I feel guilty sometimes, like throwing away food and all that, knowing it's a person. It may be a person. Anyhow, So what I wanted to say was romance here is not that romance here, but now in there was a period called the Romantic era. It is actually what it means is imagination. Romantic era එකේ තිබෙන ගොඩක් nature poems වගේ තිබෙන, that is romantic era. They're trying to romanticize life, like to think of it in a beautiful way, positive way, fantasy kind of a idea. එහෙම එකක් තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. Okay, so he's like I'll stay in Canada kind of a thing. Then so here you can like turn note it down that here this is actually about how the media attempts to blow up the situation. They're trying to take the advantage. Do you want me to give it as a point for you to write down? Okay. Media attempts the media attempts to blow up the situation and tries to take advantage by sensationalizing human tragedies. So what it actually does is these newspaper headlines, they are like adding fuel. They're adding fuel into the racial fire. තව තව fuel දානවා ඒකට. And it also drags the attention of the international community without just keeping it in. Right? Okay. Is the first stanza clear? Any questions? Yeah. No questions. No. Okay. Dohan, is it clear? Any questions?
No.
Okay. Am I too fast? Do you want me to slow down? No. Is it okay? Because it's a long poem, I'm trying to speed up. Is it too fast? Thumbs up again, Kiana, that it's fast or not okay? It's not fast. Navinu, am I too fast? Can you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Oshini?
Can understand this.
Can. Adita? Okay, right? Okay, cool. Let's get into the second stanza. Right. Do you all have any classes after this? Anything today? No, okay. There are 7 stanzas. I don't mind finishing the entire 7. It's gonna take a lot of time. I'm just asking you whether you want to do the entire 7 today, or you want to do maybe 1 more stanza and call it a day and do the rest on the 19th. What do you want to do?
19th sounds good.
19 sounds good. Okay. Navinu? Adita kammeli ikkala. Navinu?
Anything.
No, I am not at home.
Okay. Where are you?
I came on a trip.
On a trip, okay. Yeah, it's my fault now. The season class and very bad. Just because I don't have Urdu, I'm ruining your Urdu also. See, very bad. Oshini? 19 sounds good. No, you
I don't have
won't finish
Urdu
the whole
either.
poem
We
today.
just came on a trip. That's all.
Okay, I'll get into the second stanza also and then let's decide. Huh? Okay. The second stanza is not going to take much time because I've already told about the history part. So the second stanza is actually about the history. Navinu, can you read the second stanza?
Powerless this time to shelter or to share. We strive to be objective. Try to trace the match that lit this sacrificial fire. The steps by which we reached this Ravage Place. We talk of 48 and 56, of freedom and the treacherous politics of language. See the first sparks of this hate fanned into flame in 1948, yet find no comfort in our niche solution, no calm abstraction, and no absolution.
Right. Powerless this time to shelter or to share. Have you all watched any war related movies in the sense the Sri Lankan thing? අම්මර පුංචි සමනලීනේද කතාව අර චින්න දොරේ චූටි මාත්‍ය පුංචි සමනලීනේ දෙක අන්න එහෙම මොකද්ද නමක් තිබ්බා I can't remember the name as I remember it was පුංචි සමනලී or something පුංචි සුරංගනාවි sorry පුංචි සුරංගනාවි that's the name have I watched it Saroja පුංචි සුරංගනාවි Saroja no it's not cringy it's just the name that's Samarali or Samarali Suranganavi, sorry. It's not cringy at all. I mean, you need to watch movies like that to get the understanding, okay? Because it's a Sinhalese boy. A Tamil girl comes to live in that household with us, in the sense his dad is the servant of the house. So the girl also comes to live there. And this boy who lost his mother and all of that, since the mother left and all, so he hasn't spoken. So the person who got him to speak was the Tamil girl. And he started speaking Tamil. The father is Sinhalese. And this was also during this time period. Tamil girl ke තාත්තව කුච්චල මරනවා ටයර් වලට දාලා අනම්මන. You have to see those movies to understand what really happened. අර ළමයාගේ මොට්ටුව මකලා because see, it's all about a mottu. When you remove the mottu from the Tamil girl, you can't say she's a Tamil girl. They're all humans. So what does he do? He quickly removes that mottu thing and takes her to the house like she's also a Sinhala girl and all that. That's a whole story. There was another one like that. There are also, it's a sir, a teacher, a male teacher, who is Sinhalese. And he kind of like adopts kind of thing of a daughter of a terrorist. And that whole story. Okay, there are so many nice movies. I want her to watch at least one of those to get that real feeling. Make literature fun, will you all? I made up, during my A-levels, I made up reasons to watch movies. I made up reasons to go watch this and that. Make literature fun. Now, I heard Wuthering Heights is out, but all the people who watched it were like, that's not actually the real literature version of it. But still, I'm like, tomato, I'm going to watch it. But still, I'm here talking about it. I still didn't go watch it. But yeah, I want her to watch these movies, not because, I mean, it's not just procrastination. The reason I'm asking you to watch this is because you need to get that feeling. You need to get that impact. The more you feel, the more you can convert it into words. More than what's on your history textbook, you can see the history unfold before you, in front of you, when you watch those movies. So watch Medastri Poda Chilleke Nini Poda, you know, like you're having the Aurudu vibe, ne? Nanta Aurudu vibe. Ne, now like, why you know Aurudu?
නෑ අම්මා මුල්දාසම ක්ලාස් දාලා
මුදවසම class දාලා. Nice.
Yeah.
අදිත no Aurudu. අදිත නම් trip එකක් එල්ලෙන්නේ මොකද no Aurudu. You have Aurudu. Winner gaming setup එකක් දාගෙන ඉන්නේ no Aurudu or what? How's Aurudu? I forgot to wish you all also. Happy, what do you call, very happy New Year. Forgot to say that.
Wait me.
Yeah? No Aurudu for all? Boring. Actually boring. The A-level people are having more fun than y'all. You know, the people who have exams in 4 months? I'm using y'all as an example to them and vice versa. I'm asking them to get back on track and I'm asking y'all to have a little bit of fun. The reason I'm asking is not because I want y'all to get off track, but because y'all need to have a break. Otherwise, you're going to be burnt out. Burning out is not a good thing. Please understand. Balance. I personally know how burnout is because I have gone through it. You keep saying no until your body starts saying, come on, hold on. You need a break. Don't get yourself into situations where you have to be bedridden closer to your exams, okay? So do take breaks and also stay on track. Balance. Okay? And in terms of this procrastination thing, I'm actually having plans on having night study sessions. This is not, that's not class. We're not going to be talking literature, just study sessions, because I have some exams coming up as well. So I'll be studying as well. So y'all can study. Okay. I'll plan that and let you know. Right. Okay. Then the line, powerless this time to shelter or to share. What do you think this means? Shelter or to share? Muqaddame shelter, muqaddame share. What are they talking about?
Their home.
Their home. Whose home?
I mean, the residence.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This is why I asked you all to watch these movies. Me mummy kina tikama lassanta penana me movies wala. Now, imagine you are in a Sinhala area. There are few Tamil houses. Who's affected? Sinhala or the Tamil people? Majority of the houses are Sinhala. There are few Tamil houses. Who's affected? The Tamils. Imagine it vice versa. There are so many Tamil houses and there are few Sinhala houses. Who's affected? The Sinhala people. And we had a stupid rustic community who wanted reasons to fight. Egolanta me nationalistic pride mukut neme. Rata beraganna ganne me. They just got a chance to stone people's houses and they do it. They are just rustics. They don't care. Egolanta gahagana free chance ek hambunama policing allanit naha mukut naha, and they get into it. They are thugs. And the community, they were powerless as well. Now, okay, imagine I have a next door neighbor who's a Tamil. We are friends. We've been friends since childhood. Just imagine, okay? And in this situation, her house is under attack. In the sense, her house is being terrorized. I'm living next door. Have a mangya udaw karot mama matat poriyallaka kanda vena. That is what it is. Then it goes as betrayal. So there were situations where friends spied on friends. It was that brutal. The mama call kalakina. Now imagine I'm Tamil and I call one of y'all and say, "Me lama mama hangila inne menna mehem kila," and y'all go and tell it to someone. Finish. Right? Some people actually helped. There were people who helped, but most of the time they were too scared to help because they were helpless. That is what they say by powerless this time to shelter or to share. This is about giving refugee, being helping the people who helping each other. It's all about helping each other. And Sri Lanka is, the ironic fact is that Sri Lanka is a country known for hospitality. And we couldn't give refuge to our own community people. Ironic facts. You can write these in your answers. Stuff like hospitality and all. You can use these arguments. Sri Lanka is a country that was known for hospitality, but during this time period, they couldn't shelter their own neighbors, their own who were there in the community. Right? Next line. We strive to be objective, try to trace the match that lit this sacrificial fire. Then adatat hariyatama kawuda mukakavat mahamulakar. Okay, you cannot directly point out this was the person, right? For whatever it is. Now, okay, they say Saharan for this 2019 thing, and they say Prabhakaran for the 2009. I mean, the war that ended in 2009, 30-year war and all that. But still, you cannot okay, how did it start? How did it? It's really difficult to give a very proper statement with that regard. In a Saharan kya patangate 2019 Saharan nahi hem patangate. How they are to meva kare? All these questions are unanswered. We are trying to trace. So here, once again, they are sticking to the title. See how good the poem is. Big match try to trace the match that lit this sacrificial fire. The destruction is widespread. and you're trying to stay positive and to seek how did it start, to trace the lines. But will they actually allow us to trace it? No, because it's history that began. It's history that unfolds. It's actually in the hands of the respective parties who are responsible, i.e. the governments, the respective governments in that. Now, when you write this, you cannot, now I'm reminding you again, when you are writing answers with this poem, please don't mention any names of politicians. No, you should be very careful. You should not mention any party directly. You can't say, the Pohottu කියන්නත් බෑ, මොනවාද අලියෝ කියන්නත් බෑ, UMP, you cannot mention those. Just say respective officials, government party, statements like that. You can use statements, I'm repeating again, you can use statements like government officials, authorities, respective authorities. You can use phrases like that instead of saying UNP or whatever, right? Do not do that, because we don't know who's marking, right, kids? You don't know who's marking your paper. What if that person's like supporting that particular community? ප්‍රශ්නයක් නේ. And however, how much we say your papers are marked by humans. However, how much the marking panel states the teachers, but I used my phone camera and my phone ran out of camera. Okay, it's fine, Bindu, it's fine. We saw your face, don't worry. Okay, right, your pretty face was captured. Yeah. And now I can see only Naveen. What happened to Aditya?
Here, miss.
Huh? What?
Here, miss. Here.
Innava, okay.
I'll on
You
my
felt shy
camera.
after Bindu went?
No, I'll on it. Means it's auto framing from itself. It's like
Auto what?
it's auto framing.
Okay.
Like it's zooming in and out. It's a bit. I
I
will
don't
like it.
know how that happens, so I'm not going to say anything because I don't know about the technical part of it. No, never mind. You get that sorted, then turn it on. Okay. Right. Then,
Okay.
okay. We talk of 48. 48 kids is 1948. Once again, this part we already discussed. Independence. Sri Lanka got independence from the colonial rule, from the British rule in 1948. Or 48 in 1948. And then you have 56. 56 Lama is 1956. This was when Sinhala was made the state language. Mark that, please. What did you learn in school? Make a මොකක් කියලා දිගන ගත්තේ? 48 and all of this. You did this in school already. Right? Oshini?
It was
Aditya?
it was confusing, miss.
ඒ numbers වලට මුකුත් කිව්වේ නැද්ද?
Somehow, for the title, I have written Unity, Strength, and Celebration.
Okay. What? Celebration?
Yeah, I'm also confused how celebration comes in.
Maybe she remembered her birthday cake, big match, and celebration, tada, kind of a thing. I don't know. I'm trying to make it sound logical. I don't know. Dohan, have you done this in school? I couldn't ask you.
Yes, miss.
Yes, okay. Do you have kind of a solid understanding of the poem? Like, do you have it? Do you have an idea already, or is this like the first time you're hearing it properly? Have you done this properly before?
First time hearing proper.
Okay, fine. Okay. I don't think it's Miss Charuni. Who is your new teacher?
Lorraine, miss. She's old.
Old teacher. Okay. Must be someone who's new to school, right?
Yes, joined last month.
Okay. I had a chat with Miss Dharma. I met her and I had a chat with her. She told me there's a new teacher, but I didn't ask further. Right. Okay. In school, what have you done? Okay, I'll have a chat with you after class. I'll give you a call. I need to sort things out and see what you have done and see how you can cover. Okay, right. Let's get back into this. Okay, so 48 and 56. So that's about the history part. Okay, so what happened was the Tamils were marginalized. Okay, so then of freedom and the treacherous politics. Okay, understand politics of language. Aditya? Aditya?
It's not. I know it's auto free. Mummy can phone again hadanne.
It was really funny, Aditya.
I
You
know,
know that
Miss.
this has been recorded, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I might have to put this on YouTube because I can't keep this recording for long. I don't know. I might have to put this. No, I mean, I don't mind. You're just going to be a celebrity.
කමන්න ඉතින් කවුරුද ඉතින් ළම්බ කිල්ලයි නවලන්න.
ඉල්ලොත් මම දෙන්නන්නේ කමන්නේ නෑනේ.
කමන්න. අපේ අම්මට ඊට පස්සේ කියන්න.
හරි. Okay.
No, seriously, I'm like making it from the phone. My camera එක
Right, child. I'm just joking. Do I sound serious? I'm joking as well. I'm joking. I'm just fooling around. Don't mind me. Okay, right. Then, okay. So, treacherous politics of language. Here, what it's about is about how opportunistic, not optimistic, opportunistic. People who seek opportunities, how opportunistic the politicians were. They were nicely coining it into their way. If you all learned your history right, you know how it happened. Right? So they took this into their way. You know, they started highlighting this linguistic thing. Linguistic means language. They took it into their own advantage by saying, okay, bringing in nationalist movements. They started coining it in their own way to come into power. And our stupid people started believing that's what happens every year. So not every year. Every year with every new political party. Now they sent away Mr. Gotabaya. Then they brought Mr. Anura Kumar. Isn't it the same situation recurring? I feel like history repeats. Wasn't it the same sequence? Things, the prices going up, not having the necessary stuff. Whoever who comes the same, words come to my mouth, I'm not going to say it, happening all over again and again. So when someone comes to the podium and promises something, adding few big words, our stupid people start believing and keeping them on the head. Mind me, I haven't still voted once in my life. It's not that I can't vote, I do not want to. Not yet. I know it's not a good thing. I'm supposed to do it, but maybe in the coming up election, I might consider, but still no. Because I don't want my vote to get counted in a wrong way. I mean, to vote to a wrong person. Might as well not vote. Right? Okay. So in this stanza, what we talk about is about the history and the responsibility of the authorities, the politicians. So the first one was about media, and the second one is about the history and the political parties, the authorities, whoever who's responsible. Right? Okay. Yet find no comfort in our need solution. No calm abstraction and no absolution. So what they are trying to come into theoretical context, logical context, you know, and then there is no proper person to blame as well for this wrongdoing. So that's about the second stanza. Any questions with regards to second stanza? Any questions? No? No? Now we know? Clear? Yeah? Okay. Aditya?
I'm shy to even right now. I got a mistake.
Okay. A brief point. Okay. Yeah, sure. So you can write something like this. You can write history and no,
First diaspora?
Diaspora.
Yeah, what's that?
That's with history. That's again a single only act like line that's a whole history lesson. That's there in your grade 10 book. You all did it,
Diana.
neither? Not the.
Korane. No.
It's their child.
In grade 10, we don't have about like this British grade 10. It's in grade 11.
11. Okay. I don't know. I can't remember. I guessed. Then what was in 10? 10 is about all the kingdoms and the history and stuff, right?
Yes, yes.
Colonization and all that's there in the. Oh, okay, fine. Then
Grade
you learn
11.
11. Okay, right. So as a point, you can say okay. You can say history of the situation. History of the situation. Now you want to write down a point. Binara was asking for a point, so I'm just giving a brief point. History of the situation. Oh, so better way to say it, history that led to the situation. Sorry, history that led to the situation. And the opportunistic political parties and authorities and opportunistic political parties and authorities Can someone repeat what I just said? Just repeat the part I just said.
History that led to the situation and the opportunistic political parties and authorities.
Authorities. Of the feudal of the what is futility? Futility means uselessness. Of the futile or futile violence.
F-U-T-I-L-E,
If it's FU.
F-U-T-I-L-E, right?
Yeah. Futile racial violence. Racial violence. You can take that as the point.
I don't like this poem, Miss.
But this is history. Literature, child, is life. In when you learn literature, you learn different aspects of life. So this is society. This is a society poem. Actually, it can even be taken under the conflict category as well. It's actually a combination of society and conflict. But since it's a social conflict, they have taken it under society. I mean, now if you look at the poetry sections that you have, no problem, Binara. Now, let's look at the syllabus that we have. The first poem we have is To the Nile. What is it about? What kind? Okay, look at this as a point of view as you're trying to get something out of it. What it says is, in the end of the day, you are also an ordinary thing. Okay, a bird came down the walk is about, there are so many things, so many other things about it. I'm just taking something for you to take as a lesson for life. Okay, if you take a bird came down the walk, it's about man and nature. How unnecessary interference is not necessary for nature, right? Then the eagle is about, it's about powerful elements of nature. In the sense, you can also take it as the authoritative people, the people who live in the mundane lifestyle in comparison to other weak sources or weak components. Then to the evening star. To the evening star is more about how you become dependent on the refugee of divine sources. It's more religious, seeking for protection. Those are the nature points. Then for conflict, a war is kind. It's about the reality of war, the brutality of war. It shows different aspects of war. It shows that it's not just the people who are affected. I mean, it's not just the soldiers, but also the loved ones are affected. I do not keep sections. Or poem, I did that. Like I think I did a good job with the poem. The war is kind. full explanation එක දුන්නා මට මතක විදියට. I did, right?
Yes, miss.
Did I? Okay.
Yes.
Then the terrorist is watching. It's about how violence can happen anywhere, anytime. Unpredictability of life and all of that. Then Farewell to Bana's second entry. It's about how the inability to control one's impulses can lead to disastrous situations. The love triangle and all those things that we discussed. Yeah, Aditya, are you saying something? I can see you unmuted. Do you want to say
No,
something?
no, no. No.
Okay. Good. Then breakfast is about relationships. It's about how it's about the fact that communication is key in a relationship, right? Lack of communication means there's no relationship at all. Breakdown in communication equals to breakdown in relationship, right? Then once upon a time, it's about the change of the people. It's about how people were in the past and how they are in the modern times, and how we as people in the modern times have started to adapt to it as well. We have also started taking the shape of the modern people, like having different personalities to suit the situation. I myself is a victim of it. Me in front of y'all, I'm someone. Okay. Me in front of my A-level kids, I'm someone else. Me in front of my current grade 10s, I'm someone else. For each batch, I'm a different personality. If two brothers from two different batches talk about me, they're going to feel like they're referring to two teachers. I feel I have developed multi-personality disorder. I have different personalities with different crowds to suit the crowd, basically. That is because the teacher me and the real me are two people. So me in my private life, I'm someone else. My personality in front of my parents, in front of my brother, in front of my two brothers, I have two different personalities. My older brother knows me as one, and my younger brother knows me as something else. My friends, same thing. So we have developed different personalities to suit different contexts. We are not the real us. The real us is known by just few people. When it comes to me, it's just two people who knows the real me. Just two people know me. The others, they all know different parts of me. And I don't think even I know myself properly. I'm still exploring myself as well, trying to know who I am. Right? So that's about that. Then I Know Why the Cage Bird Sing. It's about Black Lives Matter thing. It's about racism. It's about racism, black and white problem. Maya Angelou is one of my favorite feminist writers. I love her poetry. And more than her, I love Kamala Das. Have you read any of Kamala Das's poetry? No? Okay, you might hear me talking a lot of poets and poetesses when doing poetry, but you won't hear the same when doing novels. Because it changes from person to person. I am moving to poetry. I love poetry more than novels. I have a lot of books that I've taken and not touched. I'm trying to get into the habit once again, but with work, I got out of the habit. I have to get into the habit again. But poetry is something I live with. I often read different poems. I research about poetry. I write poetry myself. So you ask me about poetesses and poets, I might know a lot of them, right? So something I'm reminding, something I've already told you all before also. If you all are into poetry, let me know that I can help you all out as well. Because when I was younger, I needed that guidance and I didn't get it anywhere. I had to experiment my writing style, and it took time for me to get into the proper writing style. I mean, in the sense, creating my own version of writing. Right? Okay. Then Richard Corey is about, it gives us a very nice lesson for life. It says that money cannot buy happiness. Don't judge a book by its cover. Appearance is deceptive. These are the themes, or these are the messages that are conveyed through Richard Corey. Right? And then you have Big Match 1983. That's what we are doing right now. It's about history of Sri Lanka. It's about the race. It's about racism as well. Then we have the earthen goblet. The earthen goblet is how the natural form is changed into an artificial form, which from the external forces. Like පොඩි ළමෙක් කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. ඒ පොඩි ළමයාව අරගෙන දැන් හිතන්න, I think I am I don't know, think I'm some maybe I'm a dancer or something, and I want my child to be a dancer as well, and maybe my child is into something else. No, I force my child into, I mold the character the way I want to, and give, tada, this is my product. Not giving the freedom for that particular substance. Okay, it's not nice to call objectify a human being as substance. I mean, the particular child to become a child. Okay, I just objectified children. Never mind. Okay, that is funny, but not funny at the same time. Father and son is about the father son relationship. It's about generation gap. The fact that okay, the father belongs to one generation. The way the father thinks is different. The way the son thinks is different, and it's conflicting. The father doesn't understand the son, and vice versa. That's father and son. Fear by Gabriela Mistral. It's about mother and daughter, where the mother is being overly protective of the daughter, while the daughter is living in the modern world and she wants to explore. She wants to go find. She gets opportunities to go reach the sky, but the mother is like, okay, if she goes out, she'll get hurt. Depathemma unfair. The mother, being the mother, she wants to protect her daughter. At the same time, by overprotecting her, she's losing the opportunities and all of that life has kept for her. That's fear of a mother. Then the clown's wife is about the difference between a person's private life and public life. Clown's wife is like my story of my life. What you see as a person, the private persona and the public persona are different. Giving you a little subtle context, a clown is supposed to make someone happy, but he or she is not happy themselves. Right? Now this season is the ideal season. You see a lot of people dressing costumes and all that. Imagine the hot sun. I can't even wear this and stay under the fan. I barely sleep in the night because it's really warm. We are just wearing these normal clothes. Imagine them wearing the fully thing, the costume, a heavy thing, and dancing and spreading leaflets and singing songs. And you think that's fun? No, it's not. They're appearing as people who are happy. They're supposed to make the others happy. They are entertaining us, but they are not happy themselves. That is the irony of life. The person who sees it is the person who's there behind the stage. That is that person's significant other, the partner. So the clown's wife is the one who sees the sufferings of the clown. That is what that poem is about. And then we have the humor poems. The Camel's Hump is about laziness. It's about laziness. Then Upside Down is how it's about normalizing things and how the people who go beyond that are seen as a little, it's about misfitting, social misfit. It's about being a social misfit. Then Huntsman is about excessive talking, how excessive talking, gossiping, and all of that can lead into, how it can lead into disasters. And Two's Company is about a person who doesn't believe in ghosts, and he has to. It's about superstition and rationality. It's a conflict between superstition and rationality. So I gave you a briefing of the entire 20 poems that you have. Can you see how much of lessons that are there built in behind these poetry? This is why I say literature is life. And how can you say that you cannot write for 15 marks? You can, if you understand it properly. If you feel the poem, if you can understand it, and if you can make it, you in the sense, okay, maybe you cannot get into the stage of empathy, but at least into the stage of sympathy, in the sense like, okay, think, okay, there's something like this. Sympathy and empathy is not a topic related to this. Sympathy is, you feel a person's pain, and empathy is you feel like it's your own pain. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take the difference of those two words and trying to create an impact here by saying, okay, a poem එක වෙන දේ ඔයාලට relatable නැතුව ඇති. You might not be able to relate to it directly. But try to at least think in a way, okay, මෙහෙමත් මේවල් වෙනව නේද, and this lead to this, right? And something I've been saying from day one is a person who knows psychology and literature together is unstoppable. This is not something I say, this is something I've observed through research. People who've studied literature. So please take the maximum advantage of the subject. Clear? Yes. Naminu looks very motivated now. I'm very happy. Okay. Are you clear with all of this? Now I explained the whole 20 poems. Okay, cool. Right. You want to get into the third stanza today itself, or you want to move on and start on the 19th?
19th sounds good, Miss.
Okay.
Anything.
Vinara? Okay. I'm very happy about Navinu's energy today. Ada Navinu full study mode again. I'm very happy. Very good. Oshini?
Hey.
Very good.
Thank
Kiwara
you.
Navinu mattoge answers tamane hai. I'm on track with that. You can't fool me. Okay. Good that you're getting into track now, but I need to see your answers, child. Okay. You need to come. You have to cover Bea and stuff also, as I remember. Conflict poetry. Maybe you can talk something with Dohan and sort it out. Then I'm going to end the recording here, not the class. I'm going to end the recording here because I have to send